Hi guys! Today we're going to read The Adventures of Riley, Tigers in Terai. So I want to dedicate this book to our son, Riley. Riley was given these, well, not these oranges, but real oranges when he was playing baseball by one of his coaches, whenever he would do something outstanding during the game. So his coach recognized his extra effort by giving him a healthy orange. So knowing that that little reward wouldn't last forever, I decided to buy some of these from a craft store, wonderful Hobby Lobby. Anyway, so that's in his room to remind him of times when he worked really hard. So always remember to do your best. Tigers in Terai by Amanda Lumry and Laura Horitz. Illustrations by Sarah McIntyre. Dear Riley, greetings, Carrot Top. Your Aunt Martha, Cousin Alice, and I are so excited you could join us in Nepal. We have some detective work to do. Like tigers everywhere, the tigers in the Terai region of Nepal and India are endangered. To save the tigers, they require more space to roam. We must find them and study their habits so we can figure out ways for them to survive. Be sure to bring a camera and binoculars, since tigers are tricky to spot. I am counting on you and Alice to be my extra set of eyes, since you know my poor eyesight. Your favorite scientist, Uncle Max. Welcome to Kathmandu, laughed Uncle Max. It's so good to see you, said Riley. I have never seen mountains taller than the clouds. We are in the Himalayas, the highest mountain range in the world. Take in the view, Carrot Top. We have a flight to catch in the lowlands of the Terai. After landing, they were greeted by people selling crafts. A painted wooden tiger caught Riley's eye. Riley, Alice, called Uncle Max from the car. Time to go. Hey, I'm glad to see you have already spotted a tiger. Keep up the good work. Soon their car reached a river. Do we get to ride in a boat? Asked Alice. Hop in, said Uncle Max. No hopping, Max, said Aunt Martha. We don't want to tip over. You never know where the crocodiles are hiding. Uncle Max gave Riley a toothy grin. Once they reached the other side, they took a jeep to the lodge. A young woman named Penny showed them around the jungle camp. It is a pleasure to have you back, Professor Maxwell. Your knowledge of camera traps and scientific samples can help us locate and study our tigers. Their rooms were made of woven reeds. It sure is hot in here. I am going to open a window, said Aunt Martha. So what are we going to do now? Riley asked as he and Alice jumped on the bed. We could unpack, or, Uncle Max said with a twinkle in his eye, we could ride an elephant. Yeah, Alice and Riley yelled. At the loading platform, a nervous Riley and Alice carefully climbed onto a very large elephant. They had to hang on tightly because the elephant swayed back and forth as it walked. My name is Mohan, said the guide in front, and this is Conchi, the elephant. Here's a bit of information about the Asian elephant. 2 times around an elephant's footprint is equal to its height. They use their trunks and feet to hear sounds through the ground made by other elephants. Elephants feed for 16 hours a day. That is by Eric Wickramanayake, Senior Conservation Scientist, World Wildlife Fund. Sorry for butchering your name. I just did my best. That's all we ask. Do your best. What a challenging job this must be, said Aunt Martha. Yes, I have always loved elephants, and now I live with one, Mohan said. What? You live with an elephant? Gasped Alice. That is so funny. Well, not really. Trainers must live near the elephants so they can care for them in the middle of the night, explained Mohan. Suddenly, they heard what sounded like someone yelling for help. Oh no, someone's in trouble, cried Riley. Don't worry, Riley, said Mohan. That is just peafowl, a peafowl calling. Riley took a picture while Alice laughed and wrote about Riley's little scare in her journal. A peafowl. Males attract females with their blue bodies and long, colorful tail feathers that form a fan. Males do not help at all with nest building or taking care of their young. Even though they feed on the ground, they fly up into the trees to sleep. John Morrison, Senior Conservation Specialist, World Wildlife Fund. Mohan urged Conchi through the tall reeds. Riley, quit bumping into me, said Alice. It's not my fault. Every time the elephant takes a step, I get pushed into you. Shh, I think I see a rhinoceros up ahead, whispered Uncle Max. Are you sure it's not a tiger? Joked Riley, remembering his uncle's bad eyesight. Don't give your uncle such a hard time. It is a greater Asian one-horned rhinoceros, said Mohan. They have poor eyesight, just like Uncle Max, so they use their sense of smell to get around. Males mark their territory by peeing in key locations. They hold the world's record for the single largest poop. Eric Dinnerstein, Chief Scientist, Vice President for Science, World Wildlife Fund. Back at camp, they ate dinner and went to their rooms. What happened to my suitcase? Exclaimed Uncle Max. Nothing seems to be missing except for my sample containers. We cannot study the tiger population without something to collect dung and hair samples properly. Now what will I do? Oh, I wonder what happened. After breakfast, they met Penny to look for the missing containers and check on the camp's camera traps. Mishra, Mohan's younger brother, who helped out at the camp, joined the search. They stopped in front of a camera trap tied to a tree. How does it work? Riley asked. This camera takes pictures by itself whenever an animal walks in front of it. The pictures will show me which tigers, if any, are in this area. Why are those big black birds hanging upside down? Alice asked. Actually, those are not birds. They are Indian flying foxes, said Uncle Max. What are you, crazy? Foxes can't fly, Riley laughed. That's true, said Uncle Max, but these are not foxes. They are really bats, and that is why they are hanging upside down. An Indian flying fox weighs over 1 pound, and with a wingspan of 4 feet, they are one of the largest bats. They are good at remembering the location of fruit trees and when the fruit is ripe. They do not eat the fruit itself, only the juice. Don E. Wilson, Senior Scientist, Smithsonian Institution. Shh, said Mishra. Over there are some cheetah deer, and they get scared easily. Mishra, you make a first-rate guide, whispered Uncle Max. Thanks, that is what I want to be when I grow up. But I am afraid of tigers. Why? Asked Alice. Tigers killed some of the goats my family raises to sell. Oh, that is horrible, said Alice. I am working to solve those kinds of problems, said Uncle Max, by making more space for tigers to roam. They will stay away from people and increase in number at the same time. I am sure this will be good news for the goats, Aunt Marcia grinned. Cheetah deer are good swimmers. They stay near monkeys and wait for them to drop fruit to eat. They can run up to 40 miles per hour, especially when they are being chased by a tiger. George Amato, Director, Science Resource Center, Wildlife Conservation Society. Hey, Dad, called Alice. That monkey is wearing your underwear. Uncle Max burst out laughing. That must be the little rascal who sneaked in and made a mess of my suitcase. As the monkey ran off, Riley noticed Uncle Max's sample containers. He climbed up and was just the right size to squeeze through the branches to rescue them. Riley, you saved the day, beamed Uncle Max. The Hanuman langur monkey. They enjoy spending time together in large groups. They can leap 33 feet high and 16 feet across. They have only one baby at a time. Dr. Kathy Len, conservation biologist, Science Resource Center, Wildlife Conservation Society. On their way back to camp, Uncle Max caught a glimpse of a dark shape hidden in a nearby tree. He pulled out his binoculars. What is it? A baby tiger? Asked a curious Riley. No, whispered Uncle Max. This is a clouded leopard. It is a very rare sighting, even more unusual than a tiger. Be sure to take a picture and jot it down in your journal. The clouded leopard are the smallest member of the big cats. Their name comes from the cloudy, dark patches on their fur. They stay in tree branches away from danger/tigers. Louise Emmons, Research Associate, Systematic Biology, Smithsonian Institution. They ate lunch and rushed to the river's edge to watch the trainers give the elephants their daily bath. What a sight it was! The elephants helped by using their trunks to rinse themselves off. Fascinating, said Uncle Max as he leaned closer. Maybe too close. Just then he was sprayed all over by a baby elephant. I guess you will not need a shower today, giggled Alice. That would be a fun way to take a shower. An adventure for sure. As Riley waited for everyone to dry off and catch up, he noticed a small pouch under a bush. It was full of coins and he quickly stuck it in his pocket. He could not believe his luck. Now he had money to buy the carved tiger. Continuing the elephant ride, Uncle Max asked Mohan to stop at a tree with fresh tiger claw scratches. Uncle Max showed them how to pick up the dung and the hair left behind. The hair helps me learn which tiger it was and whether it was a male or female, while the dung tells me what it ate. It sure is stinky, sniffed Alice. Tigers do not live in Africa. One can find them in the hot tropical forests of southern Asia and the cold Arctic plains of Siberia. Tigers are the largest members of the cat family. Dr. Anup Joshi, ecologist, World Wildlife Fund. That night, Riley dreamed of tigers. In the morning, they went on another jungle walk with Penny. Riley and Alice found more tiger hair samples for Uncle Max. "Hey, what is that loud noise?" asked Riley. "This time I know it is not a person." "That's a great Indian hornbill," Penny said, "and it is announcing its territory. Or perhaps there is danger nearby." "Oh, is that the danger over there?" Alice whispered. A giant snake raised its head off the ground and stared at them. Uncle Max shouted, "King Cobra!" He rushed everyone out of the way. A king cobra at 16 feet. These are the longest poisonous snakes in the world. They can kill an elephant with one bite. They are very good at catching and eating other snakes. John Beller, curator of Herpetology, Wildlife Conservation Society. Deciding it was safer to drive than walk, they went out in a Jeep to replace the batteries and film in the camera traps. A little way up the road, they crossed paths with a sloth bear. It was almost close enough to touch. Good thing they were in the Jeep. Sloth bears suck insects into their mouths through their teeth. That's worse than slurping your soup. These sounds can be heard from 330 feet away. They have paler fur on their chest in the shape of a U, V, or Y. Robert Hoffman, Senior Scientist, Smithsonian Institution. Later, they stopped so Uncle Max could check a camera trap. "Uncle Max, is that tiger dung?" Riley said, pointing to the fresh pile. "Why, yes, that's great, Riley," said Uncle Max. "I sure hope this film has lots of tiger shots," he muttered to himself. "Dad," gulped Alice. "Tiger! There's a tiger behind you." At the sound of Alice's voice, the big cat looked up at her. Uncle Max leaped in the front seat just in time. They held their breath as the tiger slowly crept past the Jeep. They seemed to melt back into the grass. "Phew!" Uncle Max cautiously went back and picked up the tiger dung. "Thanks to all of you," Uncle Max said. "This is the best tiger spotting trip I have had in a long time. We have lots of data, which will help with our research as we work to make a bigger home for tigers. I believe that there is hope for them, but we need to keep working." Tigers can eat up to 90 pounds of meat at one time. They have black stripes to help them blend in when they are in tall grass or dark forests. Dr. Alan Rabinowitz, Director of Science and Exploration, Wildlife Conservation Society. Riley and Alice were still shaking from their close call with the tiger. At camp, they ran to find Mohan and Mishra. "We saw a tiger," Riley said. Mishra tried to smile, but he couldn't. "What's wrong?" asked Alex. I lost my money pouch. My parents count on me to help out, said Mishra. Riley thought for a second. Then he reached into his pocket. Is this your pouch? I found it by the river. Yes, thank you, said a happy Mishra. But wait, let me repay your kindness. He quickly ran off and returned, handing Riley a painted wooden tiger, just like the one at the airstrip, and to Alice a carved beaded necklace. Wow, that is just what I wanted, Riley said. My father makes these, and I help him paint them, said Mishra. Riley, Alice, time to go, called out Martha. They said goodbye and thanked their new friends. On the plane, they slept soundly. Back at home, Riley entertained his family with stories of the tiger, Mishra, and even the monkey that stole Uncle Max's underwear. He made a home for the carved wooden tiger and then returned to living the life of a 9-year-old until his mom handed him a new letter from Uncle Max. Where will Riley go next? The end. So remember, it's cool to be kind. Hard work makes you feel good. And ask, what can I do to help, Mom? Dad? Ciao.